Hey everybody, Modern World Emporium here, and for today's video, we'll be covering a video from Modern Dating here. If you could please like my video, it helps me out a ton and encourages me to make more content, and I'm going to leave a link to their video below. Don't forget to subscribe to both channels, and let's get right in.
So I was just at the gas station, and this guy was like, "Oh, let me pump your gas for you. A pretty lady shouldn't be pumping her own gas." And I'm like, "Oh my god, thank you so much. It's also $60 premium to fill up my BMW." And he's like, "Oh, no. I wasn't trying to pay for your gas. I just wanted to pump it for you." Like, go away, ladies. If you want a man to leave you alone, bring up money. Bring up money. I swear to God, he was out of there.
That was a smart move. He got a better use for his time and money.
He didn't even pump my gas, all right?
And if you want a female to leave you alone, take away money. Sweetie, he didn't even know you and didn't want you. He was just raised right and was offering to pump your gas. Stop feeling entitled. She ain't lying. If the first thing you say to me is about me spending my money on you, I'm definitely walking away. Even if I had it, I won't pay for it. It's ironic, as she will likely be the first to make another video complaining that men no longer approach her. She had a guy who was just trying to be nice, offering his help, yet she thought it would be a good idea to ask him to pay for her fuel. This experience might change his perspective when it comes to helping others, as he now sees how high the expectations can be these days. It seems like simply being kind and helpful is no longer enough. Now, it seems that bringing financial support has become an expectation for strangers. What's more intriguing is that she didn't find it awkward at all to ask a stranger to cover her car's fuel. She might consider other things embarrassing, yet somehow not this.
It's always extremely entitled and bratty women like this that think that everyone on planet Earth owes them something because they're mildly attractive, and it's really, really sad. Common courtesy has essentially gotten thrown completely out of the window at this point, because if you open a door for them, you're being, condescending or misogynistic. If you don't pay for their gas, like in this example, even though you don't even know the person, you're just a piece of shit and wasting their time. What has gotten into women these days? Because I will never understand this mentality at all. When somebody offers to do a nice little act of kindness for you, you should be grateful. Now, I get it. I understand. Sometimes it might creep some people out. People might have had bad experiences in the past, and it's totally fine to be skeptical in those types of situations. But with her, I can almost guarantee you she is just a spoiled brat who expects everything to be handed to her on a silver platter.
If managing car expenses is a struggle, it might be wiser to rely on public transportation rather than stretching finances further with a car. The moment she mentioned her BMW was particularly amusing. She seemed to be trying to flex with a car that she might be struggling to afford, while also making a video about a stranger who chose not to pay for her gas. It's hard to make sense of that. Interestingly, she made a valid point by advising women to ask men for money to keep them at a distance, as it's true that most men wouldn't continue pursuing someone who begins with such requests. In the end, the guy made a smart choice by walking away from the situation.
So y'all remember the other day on live and we were talking about why don't men approach women anymore? A lot of y'all felt like it's because men are afraid of rejection, but I don't think that's the case. When I'm really looking at everything on social media and just talking to people that I know that are single, it's because their expectations are unrealistic. Like, you want this man to make $200K a year. You want him to pay your rent on the first date. If he approaches you in a grocery store or any type of retail facility, you want him to pay for your order or your purchase, and he doesn't even know you. Like, I don't know. To me, these things are super unrealistic. And although it's a nice gesture to make a purchase on approach, I don't think that is necessary. And
Well said. The expectations are getting out of control, making the dating scene more challenging.
It's always very nice to see somebody that has an actual head on their shoulders and understands how realistic expectations work. This woman right here is incredibly smart. She realizes it and she can see it with her own eyes. Unlike all these other women who live in a delusional land that they've created in their mind, where men are their literal slaves and need to do every single thing for them, even if they barely know them, like we've seen with the last woman in this clip. It's really crazy to me how a woman can expect a guy who just approaches to say hello to pay for her entire load of gas in the car. That's crazy. And like she also says, men are expected to make ludicrous amounts of money. Men are expected to go above and beyond for people they don't even know, which is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Hopefully, women in the future will realize just how delusional their expectations are and lower them down to a realistic standard.
And furthermore, the other women are just super simple, super easy, super masculine. And when I come across, I feel like a woman that's living in her femininity and a woman that has regular, normal expectations, they don't even know what to do anymore.
Men have answered this question so much that it should pop up on Google. Rent on the first date. A lot of guys are choosing to focus on minding their own business, mainly because they want to avoid extra expenses. The dating dynamic is no longer the same as it used to be years ago. Currently, it's all about how much he's willing to spend, and this sends a clear message. It seems like unless a guy is ready to dig his bank account, things might not go as planned. Many guys would prefer to avoid this reality altogether. The impact of unrealistic expectations on the dating scene can't be overlooked. Many men are essentially becoming invisible simply because they don't meet these unrealistic expectations. We are already aware of the high likelihood of being turned down over these standards. Social media has also encouraged people to adopt certain attitudes they see online. While some ideas may work well online, they can backfire when put into practice, making dating life even more challenging for those who cling to such unrealistic ideals. Interestingly, the fear of rejection is not even the biggest reason men hesitate to approach. We know rejection is part of the dating process. However, many are discouraged by women who expect them to start spending money before they even know each other. The first thought that comes to a guy's mind when approaching a woman isn't about the money he'll spend, it's about the connection they might build. So, when she leads with financial expectations, it can certainly influence his perspective on dating her.
I find it very humorous that even the comments on this video agree that asking for rent on a first date or asking for a car payment on a first date is literally fucking ridiculous. And I'm also glad to see that this woman realizes how ridiculous it is. She even goes as far as to say that feminine women just don't even know what to do anymore because they're so overshadowed by these disgusting masculine women with 100+ body counts. And it is the truth. There are so many of these masculine women riding the carousel out there. They completely overrun and outnumber women like this. And it's very sad. They wind up getting buried in the crowd, per se. And all they can really do most of the time is watch men have to put up with women like this over and over and over again. Because, well, there's not really much they can do if you really think about it. I mean, I'm sure they could make the first move, but I mean, feminine women usually don't do stuff like that. It's mostly the masculine women that do. And I get it. They're left in a very tough position. And hopefully that this dating market will ease up at some point, making it a little easier for women like this.
I cannot believe we're not getting any attention tonight. I cannot believe a single man has not talked to us tonight.
Why are they waiting to be approached when they could make the first move themselves? Most guys genuinely wouldn't mind being approached. So they shouldn't have no problem making the first move, and the worst outcome is usually just a polite rejection. By taking the initiative, women might actually be surprised at how well their confidence is received. Many of us are simply out to enjoy time with friends, not necessarily looking for a special connection. In that setting, an approach would be a refreshing surprise rather than an expectation.
I couldn't agree more. Why aren't they making the first move if they can't get a man to approach them? And something else I'd also like to point out here, if you're at a singles event, why the fuck are they both dressed in the most frumpy grandma-y clothes I've ever fucking seen? And once again, it just blows my mind. See, this just goes on with women thinking that they don't have to put any effort in to get a high value man, a rich man, or attractive, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's really, really annoying. And the arrogance is displayed perfectly for everyone to see in this clip. These two women are dressed like grandmothers, and they're shocked that people don't want to talk to them. And on top of that, I'm not going to get into looks because I feel like that's a little unfair in this, but it does play a big part too. You cannot go to an event looking the way you do and expect all the high value guys to want you.
The dating scene has shifted significantly over time, and those spontaneous interactions that used to happen more frequently have become less common. Now, many men focus on personal growth and other goals, channeling their energy in ways that support their future rather than seeking random encounters, especially in social settings. On top of this, the dating landscape is increasingly confusing. While some women express disappointment that men are no longer showing interest or taking the first step, others openly ask men to stop approaching them. This creates a confusing environment where men may feel uncertain about whether to take initiative or step back. A straightforward approach could simplify dating for everyone involved.
Y'all, why do I feel like we are not making the men beg as much as we need to? I mean, I feel like my girls are not standing up. I feel like we're forgetting that we're the prize. I am the win here. Like, you need to be chasing me. I have been seeing women chase men. Why are we chasing men? We are the prize. They win when they get us. They need to be begging for us. Does that make sense? I am just tired of seeing my sisters going out sad behind some of these men, child. We are the prize. We are the win. They are lucky to have us. And that's it.
It's very sad to see that the Crimson Chin here has gone out of their mind. This woman is clearly heavily influenced by TikTok and social media. You can tell just by how she speaks and acts. She is not even that attractive. I'm going to be completely honest here. And on top of that, she has that masculine energy that men don't fucking want. And they still think that they can act like this, date 10 guys at the same time, have a roster, get blown out by Chad and Tyrone, and still call themselves the prize. It is actually really fucking delusional, and it's super crazy to me that they still think like this. How can you set your camera up looking the way you fucking do and saying that men are fucking losers who aren't trying hard enough? Get a fucking grip.
While it's great to stay optimistic, it's even more helpful to remain realistic and acknowledge things as they actually are. Instead of living in a Disney-like fantasy where everything is ideal, she should consider stepping back into reality to see what others are already doing. Many women have caught on to the shifts in the dating scene, and they are actively approaching. With men not being as forward in initiating things as they once were, more women are taking initiative and making the first move. If finding a partner is truly her goal, it might be wise for her to consider doing the same. Simply sitting back and declaring oneself a prize won't make much of an impact in today's dating landscape. We won't be lining up solely because someone calls herself a prize. Actions tend to speak louder than words. The expectation that we will chase indefinitely has also shifted. While men may show initial interest, most will move on quickly if they sense a lack of effort or see disinterest from the other side. We prefer investing in someone who's willing to match our energy and show mutual interest. The funny part was when she was questioning why some women are chasing men. It's clear that she hasn't grasped why this is happening. It might be because she is still new to today's dating scene and hasn't fully experienced the dynamics at play. Give it a few more months, and she may be posting a follow-up video talk about her experience after being rejected.
I completely agree with them here, and I have to also throw this in as well. If you have to go on TikTok and loudly scream about how you're the prize and men ain't shit, well, I have a really unfortunate bit of news for you. You are not the prize. It's actually you who is a complete pile of dog shit. These women are incredibly low IQ and stupid, and they have been so brainwashed by other low IQ and stupid women on TikTok that they actually think that acting this way is appealing to men. Yeah, we get it. We can see you literally flush your hair out of the way so we can see your tits multiple times. No one cares when you have the attitude of a fucking bucking bull. Really, really annoying, really, really distasteful, and on top of that, incredibly unpleasant. Things men do not want to deal with in a woman. Who wants somebody that's constantly competing with you and constantly entertaining other men anyway? Because that's exactly what these types of women oftentimes do. Anyway, we're going to leave the video here for today. Thank you so much for checking out my video. I will be throwing a link in the descriptor box for the original video. And if you could please subscribe, it helps me out a ton. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.